On the evening of July 19th around 8:40 p.m., a sudden heavy rainstorm and flash flood struck Zhashui County in Shangluo City, Shaanxi Province, causing a highway bridge to collapse. As of noon on July 20th, it has been confirmed that 25 vehicles fell into the river. 7 vehicles and 12 victims have been found, and 1 person has been rescued. 18 vehicles and 31 people are still missing and are being searched for. The identities of the 43 victims and missing persons have been confirmed. Since the incident occurred at night and the river below was turbulent, the chances of survival for the people in the fallen vehicles are slim, meaning the 31 missing persons are likely deceased. Based on on-site videos and pictures, the collapsed section of the box girder has fractured and the 2 supporting bridge piers have disappeared. It is possible that it was swept away by the flood, thus there is reason to suspect that the bridge pier foundation was not solid. Clearly, this is another case of a shoddy construction project causing disaster. According to Chinese media reports, the collapsed bridge is the number 2 bridge in Yangping village, located at K46+200 in the direction of Shenyang. The bridge is 366 meters long, spanning the Qian River, and a section of approximately 40 meters collapsed. From the highway toll system, video surveillance and telephone verification, it is estimated that 17 cars and 8 trucks fell into the river. A villager from Yangping village near the accident site said it was unclear how many cars had fallen. He said, "It was too dark and the vehicles were traveling very fast, reaching over 100 kilometers per hour on average." Another villager said, "The highway is now under control and many people have not been rescued yet, so they must have perished." He also mentioned that due to the heavy rain, many places experienced power outages and communication signals were severely disrupted, with the network dropping from 5G to 4G. Another villager told Chinese media reporters that after hearing about the bridge collapse on the night of July 19th, many villagers rushed to the scene to organize rescue efforts, but only managed to save 1 person. According to the sole survivor, his car fell into the river and the glass window shattered. He climbed out through the broken window and grabbed a nearby branch, trying to avoid being swept away by the rapid current. He called for help loudly and was discovered and rescued by the villagers. This man, who is from Hubei, was still shaken when he was brought ashore. He trembled all over just recalling the incident. His relatives who were in the same car with him were all missing, causing him immense grief. Local villagers also mentioned that the highway, called Shuiyang Highway, connects Zhashui and Shaanxi counties and usually has very low traffic. The road is only 78 kilometers long, but the toll fee is 67 yuan, which is unreasonably high. One villager said, after the highway collapsed, 2 or 3 cars had already stopped in the emergency lane to block the cars coming from behind. A truck didn't stop and rush straight down. Generally, drivers rarely stop when someone is blocking the road. They prefer to avoid trouble, so they don't pay much attention. One of my friend's families had 4 people in their car. That night, someone on the bridge noticed the broken bridge and drove with their hazards on, trying to stop the cars behind them. Someone under the alias Wang Li, who was on the highway at the time, told Chinese media reporters that on the morning of July 19th, he and the others left Xi'an for Shaanxi County. When they reached Zhashui, they saw a car driving with its hazards on in the opposite direction. They immediately pulled over and inquired about the situation. The other driver said the bridge ahead was broken. They immediately called 122 to report the situation and drove to the nearest toll station to exit the highway. Wang Li expressed, "We are very grateful to the vehicle that warned us on the roadside. They helped us avoid this danger, but several cars and trucks didn't stop and continued on their way. We hope they are safe." In recent days, continuous heavy rains have fallen in Shangluo City, Shaanxi Province, causing multiple flash floods and landslides. Many roads and bridges have been destroyed or submerged, with several highways cut off and traffic control implemented on expressways. On July 19th, a social media user posted a video claiming that the Baoji section of the Hekou Expressway in Shangluo City was destroyed by a flood. This is Yongsheng village. The road has become like this. It's completely broken.
This is the Yangshui toll station. Look, it's about to be flooded. Look over here, it's mudslide. Oh my, it's so terrifying. Oh my god, please stop raining. It's so scary. The bridge at the entrance is already washed away. Look, the bridge has collapsed.
Commentators on Weibo are buzzing with discussions. The shoddy construction from the past is now slowly showing problems. Another once-in-a-century event every year? Blaming it on heavy rain again. Don't blame it on the rain. These issues should have been considered during construction. Regarding the cause of the Shuiyang Expressway bridge collapse, officials mentioned it was due to a sudden torrential rain and flash flood. However, the public generally suspects it was a problem with the shoddy construction of the expressway. A local villager stated that his parents and couple of friends were on their way home when their car fell into the river and they are currently missing. He believes, it hasn't flooded in years, and the first time it does, the bridge collapses. There must be a quality issue. This villager, who lost his loved one, said, the Zhashui County government is very corrupt. I wanted to report to them, but can't. During the land requisition for the highway construction, we still haven't received any compensation. Others commented, the quality of this bridge is too poor. As a major infrastructure nation, incidents like this will only increase over time. I feel like I've traveled back in time. This is exactly like the Meizo-Dabu Expressway incident. Poor road administration supervision. Are they still looking for natural causes? It's clearly corruption and embezzlement. A Bilibili blogger named Experienced Driver shared his views on the incident. I want to share 5 points. First, about this bridge pier. Look at this picture closely. The right pier is already gone, but the left one is still fine, so I suspect the foundation wasn't solid. They say it's because of the rising water from the heavy rain, but I'm not sure. Remember during the May Day holiday, the Meizo-Dabu Expressway also collapsed due to heavy rain? Dozens of cars fell and 40 to 50 people died. Second, let's think about the situation at the time. The vehicles on the highway were likely traveling at least 100 kilometers per hour, so the impact when they fell was enormous. Look at this, all the car windows are shattered. Once the windows are shattered, the car is immediately filled with water and probably sank. With the water being so turbulent, even those who could swim had little chance of survival. Most people probably couldn't swim, so for the missing, their chances of survival are very slim. Third, the accident happened around 8:40 p.m., so the cars were moving fast, and visibility was poor. There was no time to react. It takes at least 30 to 40 meters of braking distance to stop. Fourth, I'm now very scared to drive on highways. Look, after the Meizo-Dabu Expressway collapsed, I was already worried about the road quality in other places, and now, just 2 months later, such a serious traffic accident happens again. 11 people died, and over 30 are missing. This is what has been reported, but there might be other unreported accidents, right? Fifth, who built this road? Who supervised the construction? We, the ordinary people, pay tolls to use these highways, and a simple mistake can cost us our lives. Is this a natural disaster or a man-made one? Public records show that the Danfeng to Ningxiang Expressway, also known as the Danning Expressway, starts in Danfeng County and passes through Shenyang County and Zhen'an County, ending in Ningxiang County. It was opened on December 19, 2018, and has been in use for less than 6 years. This expressway is 78.8 kilometers long, with a planned speed limit of 80 kilometers per hour and a total investment of 7.45 billion yuan. It is Shaanxi Province's first provincial and municipal joint construction project. The Shaanxi Provincial Transport Group is responsible for the funding, construction, and operation management, while the Shangluo City government handles the relocation and environmental protection tasks. Shaanxi Traffic Construction Maintenance Engineering Company is a contractor and maintenance unit for the highway. This company is a large state-owned enterprise funded by the Shaanxi provincial government. According to highway design standards, each box girder on a bridge weighs over 100 tons and must support a load of over 2,000 tons. So, why did it collapse? While people mourn for the deceased, they also ponder the cause of the bridge collapse. Online analysis suggests that the accident was caused by rainwater seeping into the beams at the bottom of the bridge, leading to internal expansion and loosening, which further affected the load-bearing capacity, causing the beams to break when vehicles passed over them. This analysis seems to absolve the highway construction company of responsibility. If rainwater seeps into the beams, causing internal expansion and loosening within 6 years, it indicates that the concrete quality of the beams was substandard and that there were severe internal structural defects. This indirectly admits that the beams were of poor quality. The box girder of the bridge is part of the prefabricated beam made during prefabrication and installed using a bridge machine. The articles also analyzed that in humid climates, concrete absorbs water, leading to expansion and loosening, which can cause internal structural damage and weaken the bridge's load-bearing capacity. However, even if this were true, it would take a long time to happen. Many structures have foundations made of reinforced concrete submerged below groundwater levels for extended periods. Many bridge piers are long-term submerged in water without such issues occurring within 6 years. More analysis articles from Chinese media emphasize the factor of heavy rain, considering it a natural disaster that caused the collapse. But is that really the case? Some articles analyze that the number 2 bridge in Yangping Village is a key bridge on the section of the expressway. The bridge design considered various factors, including geological conditions, hydrological environment, and traffic load. However, over time, the natural environment and traffic conditions changed, and the impact of torrential rains and flash floods exceeded the bridge's design expectations, leading to the collapse of the upper structure. It's important to note that emphasizing changes in the natural environment and traffic conditions within 6 years seems far-fetched. According to China's bridge classification standards, the 366-meter-long number 2 bridge in Yangping Village is categorized as a large bridge. The design standard for highway bridges in China specifies a service life of 100 years. The bridge spans the Qian River, so the pier should have been designed to withstand erosion. Was this bridge designed and built to last 100 years and to withstand a 100-year flood? The analysis suggests that on July 19th, Zhashui County and Shangluo City experienced sudden torrential rains, causing local rivers to rise rapidly. The flash floods brought large amounts of sediment and debris, eroding the riverbanks and vegetation. In recent years, urbanization and industrialization have caused varying degrees of ecological damage in the area, reducing vegetation cover and weakening soil conservation capacity. The soil structure was damaged, increasing the frequency and intensity of mudslides and flash floods. The analysis speculates that the flash floods and mudslides continuously eroded the highway roadbed, and prolonged soaking caused the foundation of the piers to loosen, eventually washing away a pier, leading to the collapse. This analysis concludes that this was a typical natural disaster. The analysis emphasized the decline in vegetation cover, weakening soil conservation, and increased frequency and intensity of mudslides and flash floods. What caused these conditions? What responsibility does the local government bear? In recent years, Shangluo City actively promoted reforestation in response to higher-level calls. In 2023, a villager named Mr. Cai from Taichuan Town in Dongfeng County, Shangluo City, reported that over 30,000 locust trees and more than 30 walnut trees he had planted were forcibly cut down by local government organized personnel. Mr. Cai stated that planting the trees was approved by the relevant government departments, and the sudden cutting without compensation caused a sensation on social media. Large-scale deforestation weakened soil conservation, making the area prone to flash floods. So is this a natural disaster or a man-made one? Additionally, if the foundation of the piers loosens due to prolonged soaking, weren't the piers designed to be submerged in water for long periods? We see that many analysis articles from Chinese media emphasize that the collapse was caused by torrential rains and floods. However, it can be inferred that these articles were commissioned by the Shaanxi provincial government. Their primary goal is to shift the blame onto nature, using terms like once in a century and unprecedented to exaggerate the severity of the weather. They are essentially attempting to absolve themselves of responsibility and create a narrative to escape culpability. According to the logic of these damage control articles, the collapse of the bridge, which resulted in the deaths of dozens of people, had nothing to do with officials or construction experts taking bribes. It was simply because of the extremely heavy rain that washed away the bridge piers. They used many technical terms to confuse the people. However, the simplest fact is that in Yangping Village, located about 750 meters downstream from the collapsed bridge, there are many houses built before 2018 along the Qian River at lower elevations, yet none of these houses collapsed. With this piece of information in mind, their lies are easily exposed. The highway bridge is evidently less sturdy than houses built by villagers and needs to be repeatedly inspected. Therefore, the cause of the accident is not an unprecedented natural disaster, but substandard construction quality. Many social media users commented that although the official report states that more than a dozen people died, It is known that 31 people are still missing, so the death toll is likely to increase. Those responsible for the design and construction who took bribes and caused harm should be held accountable. China has engaged in large-scale infrastructure construction for decades, but the quality is concerning. At 2:10 a.m. on May 1st this year, a section of the Meizhou-Dabu Expressway, also known as the Meilong Expressway in Guangdong Province, collapsed, causing vehicles to fall into a deep pit and catch fire. The official report stated that by 2 p.m. on May 2nd, 23 vehicles had fallen, resulting in over 48 deaths, with 30 people injured. However, the official casualty figures are still in question. Henan, Shaanxi, and other regions have been hit by torrential rains and floods. On July 16th, Zhashui City in Shaanxi Province experienced record-breaking heavy rains, causing landslides and river water backflow, turning the city into a waterlogged area overnight and causing severe disasters. According to the official report, as of 6 p.m. on July 18th, the heavy rain and flood disaster had caused 5 deaths, 8 missing, and the Baocheng Railway section from Fengzhou to Qiliping was interrupted. 4 national and provincial highways were damaged and interrupted. Over 40 rural roads and 21 bridges were damaged. During recent floods, unannounced reservoir releases exacerbated the disaster. Combined with widespread poor quality construction, losses from the disaster were immense. Additionally, early on July 20th, a sudden flash flood caused by heavy rain hit Xinhua Village in Ya'an City, Sichuan Province. The official report said that over 30 people were missing and more than 40 houses were damaged. Communication was cut off and roads and bridges were destroyed. Apart from the official releases, there were no relevant videos posted by users on Chinese social media, making it difficult to know the real situation in the disaster area. The actual situation might be more severe than the official data. Users on Weibo expressed shock and anger. What's happening recently? Torrential rains and floods everywhere? A few days ago, many people went missing in Baoji due to heavy rain and floods. Last night, over 30 people went missing in Shangluo due to heavy rain and floods. Now, many people are missing in Ya'an, Sichuan, due to heavy rain and floods. It's heartbreaking to see this. We never know what misfortunes could come our way next. There have been countless incidents this year with more than 10 deaths each. This government is full of incompetent officials. We, the ordinary people, support 80 million freeloaders every year, and it's 2024 now, yet they still can't provide adequate flash flood warnings or a complete evacuation plan. The Chinese government can silence the people, but can it control their hearts?